This is a Dyson DC41 of fairly unremarkable origin. However, it has a strange fault. If you look at the brush roll, it turns, but we do it back in the way. Come on, head up. The brush roll will suddenly turn off randomly. We need to have a look, see what could be causing it, and see if we can fix it. Let's have a look. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner and dodgy Dyson chums. How are you? Oh, bye clip today. Yes, we have ourselves rather an odd fault really, because usually on these it's, you know, the loom has broken or the motor has exploded. I think, and I'm going to give you my smell-o-vision report, this stinks of burning carbon. And I think what we're actually witnessing is the brush roll failing. The lady said it happened quite a lot to her. I had to vacuum for quite a while there. I did chop it out, so it didn't take forever to get it to stop. And yeah, it runs fine and then stops. So my guess is that the motor is burning out, and we're going to take it out and confirm that and then look at maybe a replacement. But there is also a possibility that it could just be hair wrapped all in the bearings, and you know, the motors don't have much torque, so it could be as simple as that. The only real way to do either of those is to crack on doing what we're doing now. So we shall take out the 4 screws holding all of that side on, and the base plate comes off as well, and then there's 4 more screws holding the brush roll end caps in place. Once they are out, we can come on to potential problem number 1. If your machine is really hairy and used, the whole end on this bit will be worn out and melted off. Luckily this one seems okay, although, oh wow, look at all that fine dust, folks. Gosh, you didn't have it in for a refurb. But to be fair, the machine itself works okay, but we'll see how much money we get out of this job. So yeah, there is our cogs. I mean, they seem fine, but the whole area is very warm. Next thing to take out is, actually, these cogs here. These are T10 screws. We're about to go through 2 sets of screws, I think. There they are. The first Torx of the lot. And then, I should have got the flat base screwdriver, but these just pop out. And again, that's not bad. I've seen much, much worse. But again, that's what starts to physically destroy the unit. Also, check your centre wheel, because it doesn't actually affect the later ones, but if you've got an earlier one to which all of this does apply, you do need to be careful that it's not worn through. This being a Mark II does away with all that. Right, back up to T15 and take out the firewall, which is easier with the cogs out. That's why I do the cogs first. There we go. Oh, look, there is dust trap number 2. Yeah, this machine's seen some work. Right, here we go then. Yeah, I think the motor's burning out. It hasn't gone yet. Oh. Right. So this is a very hairy motor, and it stinks of burning out motor. Can I adjust it? So we're looking at the commutator there. I'm turning. Oh wow, there it is. Look, yeah, it is burning itself out. I'm just turning the cog of the brush roll. Yeah, so it's running and it's either skipping past that damaged bit there. I mean, we can't really get in much closer when you're going to start to blur there. Yeah, so the motor sadly is no good, and I'm very convinced after years of doing this and hundreds of these that it's just because all the hair builds up on these little tiny motors, and then these little tiny motors just cook themselves physically, and that is when that starts to burn out. I've seen the entire segment popped out, especially on the DC25 eras, and again, you can test that even with the brush roll in, by when it blows out an entire segment, you'll hear it click as the carbon brushes fall into it. You can do that with the head assembled. So, we need ourselves a motor. But where might we get a motor from? Well, I'm going to give the customer the option of a new motor. They are only 25 quid. However, I've had this kicking around for ages. And, I mean, I've given it, person who wants it. I have refurbished it before, but it's all dog chewed, it's all baggy, it's missing the top of its wand, and it sounds flipping awful. Not all of that is the filter. I know for a bit the motor's gone, really. Oh, where are we? Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, we could stick a motor in it, but I just can't be bothered to do that. And yeah, we get so many into refurbish nowadays that the days of me selling and doing are over. So I think I'm going to offer her a low cost option, which is the working motor from this machine into that head, or the high cost option of a new motor in that head, or the no cost option, and she doesn't have it done at all. I don't know. Let me find out and come back to you. What we now need to do is get the motor out of the head. So I've unplugged it, undone the screws, and, well, the motor is out. However, it's still attached to this part, the cog box. So, bearing deep below all the crud and the junk are two normal sized Torx, and then what used to be an annoying anomaly of, you know, about the only reason you'd have to get a smaller T8 out is this screw. However, nowadays that is normal. Then this can come off, little wheel and the little axle. Then, we need to sort of tap out that bearing. Yeah, look, there's all the hair that causes all the problems. This is sort of good that we're coming in here. And here is the old dying motor. It is a Johnston motor, as they all are. There we go. And yeah, what we have to go in it is a brand new one, badged up as Qualtex. However, if we open up out this little package here, we will see that it is also a Johnston electric motor. And yeah, Johnston will do anything to the right bidder, and that is good. However, because obviously it's good that Qualtex goes to the effort of making the proper motor and doing with the company. Slight problem is that this also fits the DC25, and that is the end that is on here. So what we do have to do is swap the ends over on our motors. So I'll undo the two Torxes on there, and then that comes off, and that is now fully dead. Then I shall switch to a crosshead, undo the two screws from here, take that off, and then yeah, they really are exactly the same motor. Get the dog hair off of there, line up with the original screws. Oh my goodness, we'll swap back to the Torx and make sure that we use the original screws. Turn my Torx setting down as well, because we don't want to punch straight through this bracket and not be able to do anything. And there we go, one nice new motor ready to be slid back on to here and start its life with the new machine. However, I am going to, actually they're not too bad. I was going to oil these bearings. You can pop the top off, and well, I've already got the squirty squirt ready, but you know what, I don't think it needs it. That's fine. This head is aging well. This is just, the motor has reached the end of its life. So I'll put that back on there, tap the worst of the grub off of there, start to put that back on here, although quickly turn our attention to the centre wheel and make sure that all of the crud and detritus is out of it, and then fit it back into place with the rest of there. Then we can do the 3 screws up. Then a worthwhile, while we're in here, before we put everything back, we're just going to give the inside of the head a good old clean, because it's like, this is the best time to do it. You can't really do it, although, normally, although you can, in the sense of when the brush rolls are out, you can get to it all. You can't do this on a newer Dyson, so there we go. I don't know what that black stuff is. You go chip off fairly easily. Yeah, there we go, look. Vintage chunky dirt, how lovely. There we go. Clean that, wipe that down. Give this just the briefest of spritz ups. We're not going to go crazy here. Just enough so it looks like we've been in here. And yeah, done the easy part that we can. Now, this should clip back into this bracket, although you have to manhandle the front lip. There we go. Over, and then you'll know you got it because it will suddenly sit down nice and flush and easy and line up with the screw holes. I think I've got to swap this back rubber over as well. Now that, because this isn't sitting flush, this is why you've got to be careful with that. Well, not careful, but pay attention with Dysons. If things don't sit flush, no, it's, well, that's broken. Up and over. Things don't sit flush, you haven't done it correctly. Line up the carbon brush with little holes. Also, why it's probably quite a good idea to keep the old broken bit until the new bit arrives, because yeah, if I'd have slung that in the bin a couple of days ago when I ordered this, it would be gone by now and we would be in trouble. There we go, that now fits in there. We can, if I find them, pop these 2 screws back in, one here and one around here, tucked away in the corner. Marvellous. This then clicks back into here again, sort of mind your wire. You've got to put that front part under, give it a bit of a jiggle until all the plastic clicks into place, like so. Then we've got to run the wires, and I'll show you the before. We basically just got to do this. And it's even easier on one of these because the bottom spade is the big spade, top spade is the little spade, the wire only goes in one way, and voila, job done. Next, we need to put the firewall in because it forms like some of the screw threads for some of it. And then we put the top part in, and then I'm just going to put 2 screws in at the top and the 3 screws in at the bottom, and probably the cogs as well. Then with all of this in and together and working, we will side quest number 2 to the brush rolls, because yeah, these have a habit of building up in here and all the hair, etc, etc. Normal Dyson stuff. The problem is that when the bearing goes in the brush roll, it destroys the brush roll itself. We've seen it before. We've had to replace them because that inner bit there wears right off, and this bearing isn't bad. But we are going to get a razor blade, pop the little dust cap up and off of the bearing and pop it off. Then we are going to get just some lubricant, flood that bearing all nicely. There we go. Pop the little dust cap back into place. It just needs a little push to get around the circlip. And yeah, that, and again, you could use light grease, it doesn't really matter, but it will just help it. There we go, look, instantly 3 spins, whereas before, we'll do that to do that. Okay, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it does jam up. I've seen it before. You need to be careful. It does this smaller one more. And then let's pretend that I've done the other one, which I'll do in a second. We can put the clips back into place, and again, these only go one way round. This is why I'm only doing 1 brush roll at a time, because then, oh, of course you are. Then we don't have to worry about mixing them up. No, out. There we go. Oh, got to just lightly work it out. There we go. Oh yeah, look. Oh, we've never used it for DIY. Nah, of course you have. Can always tell a repairer knows. Yeah, there we go. Look. it will just save the machine's life. So I'm going to finish this, get this all back together, give the machine itself a bit of an airline out. Third little side quest, little screwdriver, get all this one. Again, this one isn't too bad. I keep going on about this. You know, it's been used, but it's not too bad. This whole back part here gets absolutely full of fluff. And the problem when it gets full of fluff is that it stops being bouncy. And it's, you know, it being able to do that is what makes this machine work quite well on the carpet. These are good vacuums. They should move, and again, go in there, just a briefest of wipe downs, or wash it all. I scrub and wash all this normally, but the lady's not quite paying for that. But again, we're doing a new motor in the head. We may as well put the effort in to make it look a little bit nice. Clean that end bit, look. There we go, that looks a lot nicer than that. Clean that as well. And then we should be ready to stop being sidetracked and carry on. Got 2 screws in so I can show you now, but obviously getting this whole bit back on can be fun as well. How I do it is I start off with it closed, put this bit down, stick the bumper back on. Then you hold it really tight, pivot it over, and then as long as these bits stay underneath those bits, you hold it really tight, put a screw in. You could, of course, have fancy metallic magnetic screwdrivers that are able to hold stuff, but we don't have that luxury here. But you can get the screw started and you can do it up, and then once you've got a couple in like I have, you don't need to worry quite so much. You just do the screw all the way home on all 4 sides, and that, there's 3, is your bumper fully fitted. And eventually we'll be all back together looking like a Dyson again. But how does it actually work? Does this thing still spin? It sure does. A nice, strong, decent motor once again. But yeah, the rest of the machine, well, it's actually not too bad. She's obviously washed the filters. It seems good enough. I think we're good to go here and ready to send it back. So a nice simple fix, although don't just go chucking a motor on unless you're fairly sure it's that, because it could be the loom, although the loom on a DC40 is quite reliable, so it may not be the loom. It could be the PCB, but it is, in this case, the motor. So I hope that's helped anybody who hasn't done it before. For people who have done it before, did I miss anything? Did I do it differently to how you do it? Let me know in the comments down below. But until the next disastrous Dyson, I and some other DC41, I'm sure, we'll see you soon. Bye bye.